So this is part 5 of my home bar build series. Want to get into the construction of the bar itself. We kind of went over the walls features, the TVs, the LED lights. Here you can see me basically constructing the frame in my garage. One of the things you notice is I'm not using 2x4s or 2x3s or big pieces of wood because you really don't need it. You can save a lot of money and save a lot of pain and suffering by using this nice finished 1x2s or 1x3 pre-finished pine. You don't need the strength because once you skin this, it's going to be amazingly strong. Same thing like a house. You know, you build a house out of little 2x4s and it's strong because you put the skin on it or the laminate or the paneling. Here you can see more construction. What I did is I assembled these in 3 sections, and then you kind of put them all together and you screw them all together once they're in place, following the tape line. You can see my little refrigerator there. It's my kegerator. It fits 2 1/6 kegs and or one standard keg, and you could always put a bunch of little things in there. This is kind of a console setup here, this last piece, and then I'll get into a little bit later. Here you can see me painting the bottom half of the wall to match the top half. It was a horrendous red, dark red color that didn't make any sense. So here with the console setup, I have my 4 12-inch subwoofers. I have my amplifier rack, my electronics. I'm just basically test fitting it, make sure that it makes sense, make sure it fits. Actually, I was originally going to put a refrigerator in here, but spacing didn't work out and the heights didn't work out. So the dimensions I thought I'd seen on Amazon didn't quite tie out to what I thought it was. So, and that's because of bump outs and other things on the refrigerator itself that aren't really covered in the dimensions. So make sure when you get your refrigerator or any device that you plan on installing, you measure it yourself and check all these little things. So here you can see the bar top. My intention was to actually make an oak bar top. So that's real high quality oak. I did sand it and edge it and make it perfectly smooth and ready for staining. But because of timing and because of I had such good experience with the laminate flooring, I ended up getting a slightly different, a slightly grayer color, and finishing the top with that. And that was the best thing I ever did because it's a strong, it's a really robust, really scratch-resistant surface. It's waterproof. It's just the best thing I could have done. Here's my son actually helping me. Once you put the laminate flooring up, it's got a sticky surface, but it's not going to hold up on its own on standard plywood. So you got to use a nailer. The blue thing right there is a little brad nailer, and then my son's kind of filling in the nail heads with a magic marker so they kind of blend in, either black or dark brown. Here you can see the bar top. It's a slightly grayer, slightly lighter colored, and I interlaced the top pieces. What you want to do is, if possible, you size the bar top to fit an equal number of pieces of laminate. So if you want to go with 3 or 4 and that adds up to a foot, or that adds up to 18 inches or wherever it is, it's so much better to back into an existing width than it is to have to cut all these little pieces as you're building it. Here you can see me wrapping the console with wood strips and kind of fitting them all together and preparing it for the stain. Here I'm staining the inside of the bar. I did nothing to finish the inside. All I did was stain it. I didn't even sand it because, again, it's not something you really see. It's on the inside. All I focused on was how it looks on the outside, which is the most important part to me. So here I'm going to get into the construction of the ceiling cabinet where all the hangers are for the glasses. Again, simple, low-cost pine sheets. I use the same material that the bar top is, the same laminate flooring, to cover it. And then I kind of did an accent where see the top half, which is actually the bottom in this picture, is the same material that's used on the side of the bar. And here you can see I put the hangers on. Interesting thing with the hangers, I actually had to add wire ties to stop the glasses from migrating and falling off because of the sound system. Here you can see the in-wall speakers. I use Monoprice 3-way. They're a great deal, great speakers. They have selectable gain on the tweeter, plus minus 3 dB. Here I installed the LED lighting. These are little RGB accent lights. Originally I was going to wrap this in strip lighting, but I think this kind of looks a little more elegant, a little more unique, and it helps the glasses kind of glow. You could obviously set this to any color you want. The speakers, obviously the covers on them are white to begin with, and then you kind of just paint them with whatever you want. Here you can see the wiring inside of the cabinet. What you don't see is I had to staple all this in place so it didn't shake or vibrate or create any noise. And then I stuffed this with fiberglass. Because I was sealing this to the ceiling, this is a completely sealed enclosure. What I use is standard fiberglass from Home Depot to fill this, and that dampens any reflections or any sound. It improves the sound quality. It increases the apparent volume of the enclosure, so that it increases the low frequency response of the speakers, even though I'm cutting them off at 100 hertz. So they're not really required to do low bass. I know I kind of ramble on with a lot of these details, and if there's any questions, please leave questions in the comments because I will answer them, because I love this stuff. This is my passion. Audio is my passion. Building things is my passion. So any detailed questions I would love to answer, and it's a lot easier when you ask specific questions than it is for me to just kind of guess what someone's going to ask. So this is the first time I actually needed help throughout the entire construction, is when I put this on the ceiling. Obviously it was large, heavy, awkward, so what I did is I had 2 frame rails that was mounted to the ceiling first. Then once we kind of put it in place, we drove screws in through the side to lock it in place. Then I put a bead of silicone around it, and I put the last strip of laminate flooring to close it off. So to get the wiring up there, I had to create this this channel. So the channel you see in it's kind of a standard feature you see in bars for pipes and wiring and tubing for beer taps. So I did the same kind of thing, because the only other way I would have been able to get the wire into my sound system was to wrap around the ceiling, the wall, the floor, and come back up, which was just possible but not fun and not in my appetite. So again, thank you, and like, subscribe, comment.